Hello everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. Happy October. Is this the first ghost story in October? So I wanted to do like a few Halloween looks this month. I didn't want to go crazy, and this month I'm going to keep it super simple. Vampire. Something else. But they're not going to be like, oh, this look. I was really inspired recently. Happy Monday. I was really inspired recently by Christine McConnell. If you don't know Christine McConnell, uh, it's like she knows how to do everything. It's just like, oh, you want your window to look like a portal to hell? Here's a YouTube video on how to do it. You know, she's incredible, and she recently did a video about compositing images and all this kind of stuff. So what I want to do is create a makeup look here, but then put a final look on Instagram, which is like heavily photoshopped. Not me, in terms of a background and things like that. I want to have a go at it. If I fail, then you'll know, because it'll just be a normal shot. But I really wanted to give it a go. So literally the look today is the death of a vampire. I was a vampire, just living my life. I've been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. And then, let's say like 5-minute crafts hunted me down and killed me. So we are going to use the hauntingly glamorous palette from Alien Cosmetics. That is a Halloween palette. That's how you do Halloween in a palette. And actually, the camera, I don't know whether it's showing up properly. The camera's showing this quite bright. The colors here they almost all have like this gray kind of, in the best way, dull undertone, but in a good way, you know what I mean? So this is the palette we're going to use today. We're going to create something vampire-y. In a final image, I want like a stake going through my heart. I've got all the props, but I'm going to do it off camera because it's going to take too long. If you haven't joined me on a Monday before, Monday is where I tell my subscribers ghost stories that they send in to me right here on this email address. I am going to leave this below. It's in the description, so you can copy and paste it into your email, because I know, as being dyslexic, I can't make out numbers. Ugh. So it's down there for you. A lot of people ask me where they can send it. It's that email address. You can send it to me in a video form, you can send me audio, or you can just send a normal email with your story. It's greatly appreciated, and it may make its way right here. We are behind, so if you sent me an email even a year ago, don't send another one, because we haven't caught up just yet, I'm afraid. And I always come up with a way to die, and that's today is a vampire. And this series is very much based on Bailey Sarian's Murder Mystery Makeup Mondays, the individual who created Monday and the phrase Monday and for everyone's videos. I'll leave a link to her channel, although I'm very sure you know who she is already. Okay, let's get into it. Let me just have a quick think. What am I gonna do? And I popped these contacts in because I thought they were like more like white, like blue white, but they're not. So Photoshop will do that. Okay, let's get into our first story for today, and this is called Noose Sand Ghost. It says, "Hi Robert, I love your tips and tricks. My makeup has never looked better. Thank you." Okay, so I'm from Australia. In high school, every year, my best friend Grace and her family will go on a road trip to Noosa for the holidays. It's a tourist spot that people go to for the beach. It's beautiful. When school started again, she came up to me and handed me a jar of sand and said, "Here you go." And I asked her why she was giving it to me. She said that I had asked for it. Now, in my culture, you don't take home anything from a beach ever. The beach is a grave of many lost souls, and you're taking it from the dead. It's like stealing from a graveyard, you just don't do it. I was confused and told her that I'd never asked her, and she begged me to take it because it was making her bag really heavy. I took it, and once I got home, put it in the back of my wardrobe and forgot about it. After that, I couldn't sleep without my room light on. The walls would morph into this demonic face, and I see scary shadows out the corner of my eye. And it'd be gone if I looked at them facing forward. I was having night terrors, and my room would be freezing cold. I'd feel people staring at me as I slept, and I couldn't stay in my room for long periods of time. I woke up to my mum screaming at me and my older brother in tears. He was 25 at the time, and it was the first time in my life I had ever seen him cry. My mum was screaming at me, "What is in your room?" Half asleep, I asked what was happening, and my brother was crying. Again, she screamed, "What is in your room?" I noticed she was on the phone, and I stared at them, still confused. My mum then said, "Your brother was watching TV when it started flickering. The blinds in the room started swinging like there was a breeze in the house, and the lights flickered. As soon as it started happening, my brother ran to my mum and she rang Papa. He was a priest. And when she told him what happened, he told her that I had something sitting in my closet that was mad and needed to be put back. I remembered the sand, did a prayer, and tipped the sand into the garden. After that, I stopped having nightmares and my room wasn't cold anymore. My papa said that it was a very old spirit and we had taken him away from his resting place and locked him in a jar. I went to school the next day and told Grace. She still swears to this day that I asked her for the sand, but I honestly would never and never did. It's almost like something was out to get you. That was such a thing though back in the day. Do you remember, like, you could buy, can you still do that? Like just jars of sand, but like they would like make patterns and it would say like Egypt or, you know, Cornwall. And I'll be like, oh great, a glass of sand. That doesn't fit into my 90s room. Actually, it probably did. Okay, we have an audio story next, which is great for me because I get to carry on do my makeup and listen at the same time. And this is called Red Eyes and Ghostly Spies. Oh, it sounds terrible. Okay, let's go.
Hello, Robert. I just wanted to say that I love your channel. I watch it all the time. This look was just by practicing off of your tutorials, so thanks so much. Anyway, my ghost story is called Red Eyes and Ghostly Spies. So, when I was in high school, I was living with my stepmom and my dad, and they had a house that was part of like a community built specifically around like a booming business that they had at the time. So it was an older home. I'd say like built 1950s, something like that. Anyway, so in high school, I was in a relationship that was very emotionally and sometimes physically abusive. So while I was in this relationship, I was at my home and he was there and we were playing Dance Dance Revolution. And all of a sudden, when we turned off the game, there was red eyes in the TV. And we all looked at each other and we all asked, did you just see that? Wait, we all saw that? Okay, well, that's great. So then we were like, all right, well, we're just gonna go then. And so they left me obviously there. And I was like, okay, great. I have to sleep here tonight and there's red eyes and this is terrifying. So some time goes by and my room was under construction. So I ended up having to sleep on the couch where the TV was located. I was trying to get ready for the night and I looked in the window and there were the red eyes again. Of course, I freaked out and I went to go talk to my parents. And of course they were like, you're just being dramatic, like go to bed. So I'm like, all right, cool, that's fine, no big deal. All right, so I go to sleep, and next thing I know, I feel like I'm being watched, like as you're sleeping. And you have that feeling, like just up your spine. So I open my eyes like very slowly, and there's a woman standing over me. She had long brown Farrah Fawcett styled hair. She had on like a very 70s nightgown, pale as anything, just standing over me. Of course, I blinked rapidly, and in the process of me blinking, she disappeared. Needless to say, I did not sleep the rest of that night. So some time goes on and nothing has happened. And unfortunately, the abuse is starting to pick up a little bit. And so I go to bed again on the couch and I get that feeling again that I'm being watched. So I open my eyes. There's no one standing over me, but I slowly turn my head towards our fireplace And there she is, standing. And again, just was like, she had this look on her face that was almost like sad and cautionary and just very much like, what are you doing? And it was very perplexing. It didn't come off as ominous, but needless to say, I was freaked out. So, of course, rapid blinking, within the span of a millisecond, she was gone. So finally, I'm like, okay, this is enough. I need to freaking talk to my parents about this because this is insane. And I know this is too many times for this to be just a coincidence. So I go to my stepmom and I said, hey, has anything weird happened to you lately? And she replies with, oh, you mean the lady? And my jaw dropped. And she's like, yeah, she has like the long brown hair. And I was like, oh my God, like, how did you see? You saw her and you didn't tell me. What the heck? So anyway, I'm freaking out. She's like, oh, this is funny, like no big deal. But I remembered that her previous husband had also been extremely abusive. Come to find out from my stepmother that in 1973, I believe, there was a family of four, a mom, a dad with two sons, and the mom hung herself in what was my brother's bedroom. So that's my ghost story. I hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you so much. You know what? I'm relieved for you that somebody else saw it, because it's such an adult parent thing to be like, you're crazy. You're going mad, and not believing anything you say. Thank you again for sharing, and thank you for sending it in video form. I love that. Thank you. Okay, then let's go into our next story. And this is called Someone Was Watching Me Sleep. Maybe we'll just skip this one. It's just like a truck doing things. So I'm just going to wait for them, because it's doing that thing where it sounds like the truck is like screaming. Hi Robert, I've been watching your channel since 2016 and I love the concept of these videos. Thank you so much. My story isn't a paranormal one, at least I don't think so. Just something really scary that happened to me. I'm a flight attendant. So the flight crew and I are in a new hotel pretty much every night. One night, about a year ago, we all checked into a hotel fairly late, so I left the other flight attendants who were hanging out in the lobby and went straight to my room because I was tired. When I got to my room, I took off my uniform and put all my clothes in one pile, including my shoes, showered, and then went to bed. The next morning, I'm getting dressed and I realize that I can't find one shoe. Only one shoe was missing. I start to look for it when one of the flight attendants calls me and asks where I am. Everyone was in the lobby, ready to go, and we all had to leave together, so they were waiting on me. I tell them that I can't find my shoe, so all the flight attendants come up to my room to help me find my missing shoe. After searching the whole room, one of the flight attendants opens up the drawer and tells me she found my shoe with a blank look on her face. I look inside the drawer. Oh, no. And there lays my shoe with a note inside of it. No. I need to give us. Oh my God, I got shivers. Oh, I need to look behind me. Oh. I assumed it was just a random piece of paper. I can't read it. I can't see. I assumed it was just a random piece of paper, but I pulled the note out and it read, "It was a pleasure watching you sleep last night." We all quickly exited the room and have never talked about it since. I was able to sleep in a flight attendant's room with her the remainder of our work period. I wanted to believe it was just a flight attendant playing a prank on me, but none of their handwriting matched the one on the note. To this day, I don't know who left that note or how they got in my hotel room. I don't want to know. I don't want to know anything. I don't want to know any more. That was... I'm so scared. I'm so scared. I don't want to be in this room alone anymore. I'm terrified. That was really good. Thank you so much. Oh my God. Can you imagine? Listen, I need a break. Luckily, listen, let me just... Luckily, as is custom, we have Marcus here going to read us 2 stories. Go ahead, Marcus, please.
Hi. I don't want to do this. This first story is called The Lady with No Eyes. Hi, Robert. Before I start my story, I just wanted to say I absolutely love you, and you have been my most favourite makeup YouTuber since I discovered your channel. This happened when I was on semestral break in my sophomore year in college. My sister-in-law went through surgery and my brother asked me to stay with her in the house. They lived about an hour away in the suburbs and he was too busy with work to take care of her. I stayed in their small home. The second floor of the house had no partitions, and the only things that divided my side of the room from theirs was the closets and drawers. On my second night staying at their place, I had a nightmare and saw an old woman crying by the parking lot of some mall. I tapped her shoulder and asked if she was okay. She then turned to me and attacked me. She had long hair, all white from head to toe, and the most prominent feature on her was that she had no eyes. I jolted awake and checked my phone to look at the time. It was 3 a.m. on the dot, and I felt shivers down my spine because it's believed that that's the devil's hour. I couldn't sleep again, so I just binged videos on YouTube. Then suddenly I heard my sister-in-law from the other side of the room call out to her mum. I turned to look at the ceiling and saw that the light was shining, possibly from her phone. I shrugged it off thinking she was on a call with her mother, although that didn't make sense because it was almost 3:30 a.m. I fell asleep eventually and woke up at noon. I went downstairs and my sister-in-law greeted me, noting how I woke up late because I usually wake up early. I told her I couldn't sleep well because I had a nightmare. I told her the details of the nightmare, hesitantly, and her face turned worried. I said I saw a white lady in my dreams and she attacked me. She asked me then, and I remember almost crying when I heard her say, "Did she have no eyes?" In brackets, oh my God, I'm crying again. This happened years ago and it still scares me. I was stunned and I shot up to hug her because she too started crying. We were both scared and she said that she had the same nightmare, that she woke up calling her mother in fear and also checked her phone when she woke up, hence the light on the ceiling. I asked if her house was blessed and she said that it wasn't, and they have had no time to have it scheduled. We ended up praying over the whole house as she had holy water by her coffee table, and I sprinkled salt on every corner. We told my brother about what happened when he came home that night, and he said that we'll go back to our parents' house instead in the morning. My brother and his wife eventually sold the house, and I hope the new owners aren't experiencing paranormal activity. Thank you for reading. I hope it gave you the chills like I had whilst writing this email. Story 2 is called Ghost or Demon in Disguise. I recently subscribed to you and I love your videos so much. Thank you for what you do and how helpful you are. This takes place in New Mexico. This entire state is a ghost story. I don't know anyone who hasn't been around there who hasn't had a bunch of scary experiences. When I was in high school, my mother and I moved across the US. We looked at this cute little brick house that had been uninhabited for years. It had vines growing up all over the front. For some reason we both loved it and moved in as soon as the sale went through. My mother is very sceptical, but her husband isn't. We had lived there for a couple of years and I had several experiences, but just never told my mum about them. My friends were terrified of our house, but came over all the time anyway because they like telling people about everything that has happened there. One weekend, my friends from college and I decided to come to my house. My mum and her husband went out, so we were there alone. We were sitting in the backyard around our patio table. The back door leads directly to the patio and has a window. The way we were sitting, my back was to the door, but all 5 of my friends could see it. I noticed they were staring at the door, all 5 of them. So I turned around to what looked like my stepdad, but a little off. The face was too long and the eyes were too sunken in. We were all staring at this thing when we heard my mum's car pull up to the driveway. Her husband opened the back gate and came into the backyard. The thing was still in the door window until he asked us what we were staring at. My mum came into the yard after him, and one of my best friends was visibly shaken. My mum asked her what was wrong and she told her what she saw. She asked if we had all seen this and we nodded. Her face went pale and she came to talk to me alone. She told me that she had seen it too, but thought she was imagining it. Apparently one night when she was alone in bed, she felt something sit at the end of her bed, and she looked over and saw this exact thing. She shut her eyes, and when she opened them she couldn't see it anymore, but could still feel it sitting there. I haven't been in that house for 3 years and I still get shivers thinking about it. My friends and I saw it many times. We called it Fucked Up Jerry, and we still talk about it to this day.
Fucked Up Jerry is the name of this episode now. Thank you so much, August. Those stories are terrifying. I love a good story where it gets to a point where it's like, and then she also had the dream, or it was Fucked Up Jerry, you know, like something you're not quite, why my camera keeps focusing and unfocusing. I'm doing quite a harsh contour because in the final image I'm going to be like dying because I've just been like stabbed, you know. Is that too graphic for Instagram? Sensitive content. Okay, let's take a little peek at some TikToks. So if you see anything on TikTok that you think, you know, oh, that's creepy and disturbing, not disturbing, don't do that to me, just creepy, then you can go ahead and at me at Robert Welsh MUA. Yeah, let's take a look at the first TikTok.
If you know me from this creepy video where my dog reacts to something I can't see, I should probably share some new info. This is what my backyard looked like when I first bought my house. I decided I wanted a more modern look and chose to tear out the deck. After lifting the first plank, I took a peek and everything looked normal. But after ripping up the main part, I found cement stepping stones. There ended up being quite a bit of these, but the odd part was that underneath the cement, in the middle of a 20-plus-year-old deck, there was a bone. When I asked the neighbors, they said the only previous homeowners who owned a dog lived here after the deck was already built.
Is there any more? Okay, let's have a look at the second video. Oh, it full on ran at them. Oh my fucking god. Oh my god, I'm doing everything wrong. I'm so scared. Okay, we have one last TikTok. By the way, I got this gloss from Bath and Body Works. I didn't even know they did gloss, but I think I caught a ghost on camera at the cemetery or cemetery. Is that a little? That's so cute. A little thing. Okay, let me just quickly, before I get in, I just watched this. If you watch these videos at night or you listen to them at night to relax, please just end it now because there's a big, massive jump scare. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next week. Good night, sweet dreams. However, there's a huge jump scare in this and it's quite a loud one. So if you want to, you can watch on mute. It does circle where the ghost is.
I caught a ghost on camera at the cemetery.
Grandma. And it's really peaceful. Well, yeah, it's really nice here, but I did notice something really weird that I've never noticed or ever seen before here. I don't know if you can see them, but I noticed that a lot of the cemetery sites have the same yellow and orange flowers. Exact same flowers, exact same vases. They're all at different spots, and I'm just like, what's going on? What does this mean? Is this a sign? There's also one right there. You can barely see it.
What the fuck is that? Stay in your grave, please, Miss Girl.
One all the way over there, too, in the sunlight. Where did I get it? Right there. Right there. What does it mean? I don't know. But we're here. We're vibing. With our faves, our friends. What's good, Ha? How you doing?
That scared the shit out of me, and I never want to see that again. That is terrifying. That is absolutely terrifying, but a great video at the same time. Let's powder this face a little bit. Okay. That was a scary one this week. I'm kind of a bit of a mess. That was a scary one this week. Okay, so this is my vampire look. I'm gonna add teeth. I have teeth. I'm gonna have blood coming down. I'm gonna have a stake right here with blood on my hand. I might even just get rid of the eye color completely and just white out my eyes. Yeah, a bit of blood coming out my eyes. See what I can get away with on Instagram. Well, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for all those incredible stories and videos this week. It's very greatly appreciated. If you have any stories or videos yourself, and as you've seen from the stories this week, it doesn't all have to be ghosts. It can be just a little bit creepy. Some creep leaving a fucking note in your shoes. You can email them right here to this email address. Audio, video, just a normal email is absolutely fine. Tag me in creepy TikToks at Robert Welsh MUA, and I will see you next week. Bye.